Yo, what's going on, guys? Koi here. Today we're going to be talking about getting player characters built, how to build like your main character, how to build your side characters, pretty much how to get your power level up, freaking stuff like that. So, first things first, I'm going to get more detailed as we get through. So right now we're just going to be talking about like the basic stuff of getting your power level up, basic stats up, stuff like that. And then after that, we're going to dip into the more complicated stuff like building characters, what characters are necessarily in need of for their builds and stuff like that, and what is better for most of the characters, depending on their playstyle and such. So, first things first, I'm just going to get this out of the way. This whole thing where it's like we got the little emblems, that stuff is entirely negligible. All these characters pretty much have their own playstyle, and the emblems are pretty much like a Pokemon effective bonus, and that's it. So don't think that that means that this character is going to be specifically this way the entire time. No, uh, it's quite the opposite sometimes. Like, for instance, we got Spring Mustachio over here. This dude's a great character, but he's nowhere near as defensive as someone like Pretty Pretty Prisoner and Snake. But freaking, also this dude's got the defender mark. It just, they don't make any sense and they don't matter. It's just pretty much you could have put a fire symbol there and it would have made more sense. But freaking, let's go ahead and dip into the more in-depth stuff. Like, how do you get your power level up? As you can see, if we look at like basic characters like Blizzard over here, low power level. Saitama, low power level. E-Iron, low power level. Genos, low power level. As you can see, these characters do have some stars on them. I did get lucky and get a few copies of those guys, but those aren't the guys that we're focusing on because at the beginning, potential does not matter. Now, this is a big thing. Potential doesn't really matter too much when it comes to power levels because the what potential actually is in this game is bonuses. So it's like this helps out certain moves. This is a level limiter increase. This helps out more moves. Level, stuff like that. Sorry, it's like really late. Okay, so I just wanted to help people out tonight and stuff like that. So, because I've been just breaking through the game with no problems at all with my characters, and I don't even have any copies for any of these dudes. But they're like my main team. I've taken through everything so far, and if you haven't seen, I beat like one of the hardest pieces of content even without like leveled team. You'll see that through like my channel and stuff like that. So when it comes to skill, I got no problems. But when it comes to power difference and taking out like big bosses that have just a lot of HP, this stuff tends to matter a lot more. So uh, EXP, just pretty general. EXP is very easy to come by in this game. All characters get to level 70, and then they limit break after you get to that certain tier. If you don't know how to get your tiers up, that's easy. Just go down here. You'll see that there is the team level. If we go to the team level, let's see, I think it's over here. Yeah, we go to team level, and you'll see that there's these little yellow sections. This is like your rank ups. So your rank up goes to 6, then it goes to 7, and then I think that's about it. I don't think that it dips any further than 7. Uh, I mean, it could dip further than 7, honestly. I forgot. It actually does say it over here. If we actually go to the main characters over here and we look for more detailed stuff such as this, you'll see that it does say like battle tier 7. Yeah, see, battle tier 7 we get like freaking the level 70 max. Then we go through breakthroughs. SR characters start with 0 breakthrough. SSR characters start with 1 breakthrough. So I mean, it's just more like just that little bit of power difference. But when it comes to actual playability, there's a lot of characters I would consider very S tier in my opinion. I'm gonna go through tier lists pretty soon once I actually flesh out the whole cast of characters. As there's a lot of characters like Snek that super surprised me with his entire kit and build, and the way that he dishes out damage is pretty impressive. And then there's characters like Smile Man, who's like a one-man show and a very gimmicky character. But as a supportive, this dude's crazy. So, we're gonna go ahead and dip into the merit system now. If you don't know how to get your merit up, you do it through the same system that you would with levels. The only difference is with this system, you do need to do farming. And if you don't know how to do your farming, the best way to do that is actually by going over here. Oh, wrong one. You have to go over here to the actual Hero Association operator. Now, once you talk to the operator, you could pretty much say, hey, I'm going to do some campaigns. You go through the system, you go through the story mode, you unlock more campaigns, you unlock higher tier stuff, and then you unlock higher tier equipments. As you can see right here, this is how you get your higher tier stuff through this. So pretty much your higher tier equipments and stuff like that. But if you go over here to the loot section and you start looking at these characters, the only thing you need to pay attention to is your monster encyclopedia. If you pay attention to your monster encyclopedia, you'll notice that some characters drop some stuff more than other things, such as this dude is the only character that drops this. And he also has a chance of dropping affixes like this. We're going to talk about affixes, but we're not really going to talk about it yet until like we get into the more detailed stuff. But I'm just showing you that loot, it comes pretty much out of all these guys, and they pretty much have a chance of dropping all these different items, and yes, they have a chance to drop affixes. And we'll talk about those in a second. So remember, there is a 2 times, 5 times, 10 times system, stuff like that. See Crablante over here? This is rank 2 items. You also want to make sure you pay attention to the rank, because the rank matters quite a bit. If you want to get your characters to max fast enough, then you got to get the characters through the appropriate rank systems. Such as if I need rank 4 items, then I would go to a boss that drops more frequent rank 4 items. And stuff like that. If I need this belt, I'll get the belt from that guy over here. Yeah, if I need Bicep King, then I'll come over here and get that too. So like this type of stuff is very, very important to like make sure that you pay attention to. Memory chips, this gets a little deeper because there are chances that they have rates up on some of these memory chips. So it's like the same system, except the difference is memory chips. So memory chips we'll talk about more in detail, but know that this is where you get certain very, very special affixes that you need to pay attention to and make sure that you definitely are aiming for if you're building a very specific team. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and dip into the other side of character building, which is the impressions and arms. We're going to dip into the more detailed stuff since we pretty much nailed out like all the basic stuff. So another really good way to get power level is to pretty much get your things leveled up right here. As you can see, there's these little cards here. The impression arms, or pretty much the weapons of the characters, come with their own little stats. Some better than others, and it really just depends on what you need this character to do. Now, this is very important. Now, if you are going to main a character, you are aiming for this card. You're aiming for the SR or the SSR card because this is how you use a main character. If you are playing as the character, these are the cards that you need to aim for. So, like if I wanted to main her, then I would gain a crit boost on this and then immediately heals all of my allies. This is a huge card, and I could get it right now with the exchange box. Freaking, this is very, very important stuff. You don't want to miss out on that. These guys get very, very huge details, especially if you actually look at what happens whenever you upgrade these cards, such as enhanced arms. Let's say I got like a bunch of versions of this. I got massive amounts of base attack. I got increased crit rate by 32%. I got like a crap ton of overpowered healing that helps with all my allies. And this is a super, super defensive styled kit. Now, freaking, that this is just how your mains work. Now, if you have a side piece, such as your secondaries, you want to make sure that they're carrying something like this. Freaking encourages one ally to do bonus damage. This is a huge card, so I would equip this. As you can see, I already have it enhanced up. It's almost level 6 at this point, and the more seconds, the better, because damage is always huge. Same thing with over here. Even though I just got this guy's SSR card, increased crit rate by 8%, charging level 2 skill on that hits an enemy. This is a huge card if I was maining the guy. But right now, I don't really want this specifically because this doesn't benefit my team. Or at least the skill doesn't, but the freaking, the applied arms. So let's see. Apply the might to characters of an ally, granting the ability of granting 30% of string mustachios compers reduction stats, pretty much shield breaking. This effect works on overpowered characters. Now, this is where you would draw the line. This is where you would say, hey, I'm going to put this on because this helps for overpowered characters. If you're maining an overpowered character, then obviously you would have this dude supporting you with his arm skill. And you would use that whenever you need to break through their shield or get it done as fast as possible. It really just depends on you. Sometimes you get a really, really good skill. Sometimes you get a really, really booty skill. It just depends on the arms card. For instance, this one is pretty mediocre. See, freaking the the problem with this card is just this in general, this whole healing two allies that are specifically technical. It's like it's cool, but this thing only works for that guy specifically, and it's just a okay at best. You know, freaking okay at best build depending on how you want to take that, because this is more for like a build that literally is mostly for technical type characters, so that's why you wouldn't put that on them. You would instead put something like this on them, which is like a resets paralysis, rupture, and coma, like on all allies. That's huge. You need those types of buffs whenever you're playing against bosses and stuff like that. Let's see. So increases. Okay, so this is really what I want. I want the shield break. I want the damage up. I want the reset paralysis. This is really nice. And then I have my main, which gives me using two increases crit rate by 8%, which is pretty huge. Now we're going to go ahead and dip into willpower and memory. Now, when building a character, you need to pay attention to a few things. There's will, and then there's memory. Will is entirely dependent on your character. If you get lucky, you could get some of these, which increase your uh, you know your character's specific stats. And sometimes you will need to use a will slot for that if you can't find it for the memory fills. But for memory, you want to use the auto equip system. Let's say I'm reaching for I got this guy, I'm reaching for this. I want overreaching brawn. I want what's another one that this dude actually benefits from? And this is another thing that I would talk about characters with, is whenever you are building the character, you also could look into their potential and really see how they're supposed to be played. Affix penetrating eye plus the limit. So obviously this is like penetrating eye and mind reader are pretty big on this character's list for memory and will. So let's just go ahead and look real quick. So I would go to affixes, add an affix, and then I would look for, let's see, penetrating eye, which increases my crit rate, and then I would look for, let's see, where's the other one? Mind reader, I believe, which increases crit damage. So this is like, this is what the character pretty much like would win off of, is getting a lot of crit damage. A lot of, let's see, we want to go for like a lot of crit damage, crit rates, and then we would go for this if possible. It really just depends on the what you really need right now, because it's a whole system that is way too late game to really pay attention to at the moment. You just kind of want to see if you could get lucky with these cards. You don't need to aim for like the entire like top of the sky and stuff like that and hope that you can like get the perfect set when we can't even build it yet because it's so early game and there's totally not enough stuff to even do that. So I would start calculating. I would say, okay, we're missing all these pieces, but I can get away with one mind reader and one raid break, which also does like more reductions and stuff like that. I get some attack boosts. Assault attack drops down, but composure reduction boosted up. Overpower attack really good. So I would take this. Obviously, I would take the things from those characters, but it's totally worth it because this is my main. As you can see, my power my power level did go up. Now, the thing is, with these cards and stuff like that, they're very stupidly grindy. Now, this system, the building of the cards and all this other stuff is stupidly grindy. I would just wait or do it whenever you get to that point. And this is like where I would say if you are going to do operations with friends, I would suggest doing operations with friends over doing these memory chips. Like, put the memory chips in there and say, hey, we're going to do memory chips times 5 because I need some rank 4 memory chips. Now, this is where drop rate bonuses matter quite a bit too, because as you can see right here, we can pick up some affix details right here. So now that we're dipping into like the final piece, I'm just going to show you guys pretty much the team now that I've pretty much put everything on. And we're going to get the affixes and see if we can get lucky and try to get an 8% smile, man. If possible. Alright, I'm going to leave auto on. As you can see, he's pretty much being worked. I do love, I'm going to be doing like a character details thing, pretty much. Like, I'm going to be doing like a characters, this is how you should build them, stuff like that, specifically. Or just like a showcase. I don't know how I really want to do it yet. I kind of tried a little bit with like Spring Mustachio, then I realized like I really didn't try hard enough and I didn't feel good about the video. So freaking, you know, I'm still new to all this stuff, so it's freaking, you know, getting video content and stuff like that. I just really want to talk about this stuff and see how it goes. I'm using auto right now because I just think it's so late that I can't even feel my eyeballs. But as you can see, we're doing some more crits. We're getting super lucky. Freaking massive amounts of crit damage and stuff like that. And here comes the final. We're expecting some massive damage, maybe even a guaranteed crit here. And let's see. No crit, but still, that's a lot of damage. Alright, so we're waiting for the Smile Man card. Let's go ahead and see if we can pick that up. So, as you can see, we got some affixes here. Looks like some blue and blue. So we got Raid Humanoid, Cool Smile. Boom, we got Cool Smile right there. So, as you can see, that's just pretty much how that system works. This pretty much also unlocks brand new contracts that you can acquire, which can get you even more chances at higher level stuff. Of course, it's a very tedious system, so I wouldn't grind too much and I wouldn't waste your energy on that. I would say think of that last when it comes to actually getting your power level up and stuff like that, because getting leveled up and getting to the point where you can actually compete in the late game with your first main character, the merit system, limit breaking, stuff like that, very, very important stuff. After that, you know, do what you want at that point, because this is pretty much the end game. After that is just pretty much limit breaking and moving on to the next thing. So, I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below. Take it easy and peace out.